everyone, I'm Karen and welcome back to my channel. That feels really weird to say, but welcome. I did check YouTube. I haven't made a video in over a year, and then that was just the one video I made in May of like last year, and then before that it was a couple of months. So welcome back. It's really weird to kind of be filming, especially because we're in a different room in a different house, but I hope, well, I'm happy to be back and I hope you are too. Today we're going to talk about my top 5 books that I finished reading in 2019. I know, I'm way behind. I've got plenty of other plans for things to film about this weird year that is 2020, but I thought we'd catch up as what kind of reading I did last year, and then we kind of go from there. I'm so not used to this anymore, so you're in for a treat. As usual with all of my lists, none of these are in a ranked order, they're just in a random order because picking 5 was, well, it wasn't that difficult this year actually. I read 25 books in 2019 and picking it up 5 was not as hard as I had anticipated, but it still was not easy because I read so many good books. Like, if you compare it to like, say like 2016, 2017, I read a lot less books, but those books were all books that I really wanted to read. So there were very few duds in it. You can check out my Goodreads because I'm still on that hell site for whatever reason. Mostly because it's easy and convenient. But yeah, shall we just talk about the books rather than just have me waffling on and on, which you know, you're not here to see that. We're here to talk about the books, so let's talk about the books. Alright, the first of my favourite books of 2019 was The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. This is a book that people have been talking about for years and I just never got around to reading it. But I had it on my Kindle because it was on a Kindle deal ages ago. Absolutely loved it. I don't read that much sci-fi, but I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed that this was set in kind of a very far future. Earth, you know, there's lots about the history of Earth and different races and different species, and I just loved every single bit of this. It's such a brilliant social commentary. Dean's actually reading it at the moment, he's nearly there. But yeah, highly recommended. I read this at the very end of 2019 and at the very beginning of 2020 I read the other 2 books in the series. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure I can find a review from somebody that can talk more eloquently about this book, but I just think if you're at all interested in sci-fi with social commentary, you should read this book. Very simple, you know. Next up on my list for favourite books of 2019 is Descendants of the Crane by Joan He. I love this book. I absolutely adored this book so much. It was very good. It's been a while. I just remembered that this was one of my favourites and I probably need to do a reread. It's secrets and family and betrayal, and the language is beautiful. The cover is, as you can see, absolutely stunning. I read mostly during my lunch breaks from work, and I remember with this one, every single time I was happy that I put a timer for my lunch breaks because I was so absorbed in it. It's got 2 really good protagonists. Hasina, who's the main character, is one of those characters that I just love to read about. It has a lot of court machinations and politics, and yeah, so if you like any of those things, you should read this book. See, you guys, I'm so out of practice, but thank you for sticking with me, hopefully, for this video. Next up on my list of favourite books of 2019 is Angel Mage by Garth Nix. This is Garth's first adult fantasy novel, and it is a standalone. It is bloomin' massive, as you can tell. It's got like a really interesting magic system, so it's like angelic magic, and it's all to do with like iconography, and you need certain icons to use certain powers. It's just really well done. I really enjoyed it. I was reading it when Garth came to Cardiff for his signing, and yeah, I just like it. If you grew up loving the Sabril series, well, the Impulsion series, of Garth's, then I think you will really enjoy this. This is basically the grown-up version of it, but it has a different magic system, and it doesn't have anything, well, it does have things to do with the dead, but I can't spoil too much. But this is a really, really good book. I really enjoyed it. I also enjoyed that it was just a standalone and it wasn't the beginning of a series, because it really felt like the story came to a really nice conclusion. Yeah, highly recommend it. The fourth book on my list of favourite books of 2019 is Thornbound by Stephanie Burgess. This is the third. I can never tell which volume this is, but this is part of the Harwood Spellbook, which is a series of novellas that Stephanie Burgess has written. First of all, it has a great world in which it's kind of like an alternate reality in which all the women are politicians because the men are just too emotional, and so they are wizards because that is what they're good at. So magic and emotion goes really well together, and our main character, Cassandra, she was the first magician in, well, forever, really. So this is the continuation of Snowspell, which is the first book of the series, and I have read all 4 volumes that are out at the moment, and there's an extra novella as well that I've read. So this is like fantasy romance at its very best. I really love the world. The characters are fantastic. I really can't say anything, you know, bad about it. It's all really nice. Quick read, fun read. I love it. And I just actually last month finished reading Moontangled, which is the latest installment in the series. So it's still ongoing, still plenty of things going on, and yeah, really love it. The fifth and final book on my list for today is Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor. Are you surprised? I don't think so. I read the first book when it came out, I think it was 2017. And then I got Muse of Nightmares when it came out, as you can tell from the sprayed edges. But I waited to read it because I was scared. I think I just wasn't ready to like leave the world yet. I wasn't ready for the story to be done. I wasn't ready to say goodbye to the characters. But this is a phenomenal conclusion to this duology. If you love books and reading and beautiful language, and you've read anything by Laini Taylor and you enjoyed it, you really should read Stranger Dreamer and then Muse of Nightmares. It was just phenomenal. It's the kind of book that reminds me how much I love to read and how much I love to immerse myself in a new story with new characters. So yeah, all the good things. Probably my favourite. If I really do have to pick one absolute favourite, probably is this, because I just love Laini and I love her work. I have 3 honourable mentions for this video. The first one is Starfish by Akemi Dawn Bowman. I did a full review of this book and I'll put the link to that video up here. But I really love this. It's contemporary, which I know is very unusual, but it really touched me, made me cry multiple times, and I really think anybody should read it. I absolutely loved it. I just loved it. The second honourable mention is On the Come Up from Angie Thomas. I really enjoyed it, but I didn't connect to it as much as I did with The Hate You Give, which is why it didn't make it into the top 5. But that's the only reason. It's just as well written, it's just as funny, it's just as heartbreaking and emotional and really immersive. So highly recommended if you've tried any of Angie's books so far. And the last honourable mention is Empire of Sands by Tasha Suri. This is just a very lush fantasy, alternate world, beautiful, absolutely amazing. I really enjoyed it. Can't wait to read the rest. I think there's a second book that's already out, or it's coming out soon. Either it's out or it's coming out soon, but I can't wait to continue the series. So yeah, honourable mention. So there you have it. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. I definitely enjoyed talking about books again. It's been so long. Do let me know down below in the comments if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them. And I will talk to all of you very soon. Bye.